Hello and welcome back to our channel. Here on our channel we talk about everything related to interracial relationships.
Exactly. So if you're looking for tips on interracial relationships, look nowhere else. Stay with us. My name is Denise.
And I'm Becky.
And together with our three sons, we are the Peter Tribe. So on our last video, we talked about advices on interracial relationships. And today, we will be dealing with stereotypes in interracial relationships. First and foremost is to acknowledge that they are stereotypes.
Very.
Yeah, when you are aware of something, then it doesn't take you by surprise.
Yes, and then you are also able to
prepared
to attack it.
You're prepared for it, then you know how to go ahead and challenge the situation that seems to challenge you.
Because there are stereotypes.
Be aware of stereotypes that exist within the race and the ethnic background of your partner. Yeah, just know they exist and know these are stuff that will come up every now and then.
Yes.
So learn to acknowledge its existence and tackle it.
Besides acknowledging the stereotypes for yourself, you should also make it a very important point for you to educate your surrounding. If you hear someone using a stereotype, jump in and say, hey, so and so, it's not like this.
Yeah, you don't have to fight about it,
Not fight, no,
but sometimes people don't know the harm, that they do talking about
or
the
they
other
don't even
person.
see it as a stereotype.
Or a stereotype, yeah. They just, say what they assume. Learn to speak up.
Yes.
Against such biases. Sometimes it could even be directly from a family member, who just think, I'm African and my wife is German. And some people might just say, the people on Africa, they live on the street, or they live in the bush.
They have lions in the backyard.
Or they have lions in the backyard. So it is your duty to tell them, no, you are being biased. That is not exactly
But my husband actually has a very, very different
approach
nice way
to it.
of approaching those things.
Yeah.
When people, do have funny ways of looking at it and saying like, oh wow, do you have giraffes and you see lion every day and the way my husband is approaching those things, he's like, of course. My grandfather has like all of those animals in his backyard.
That's just been sarcastic, but eventually I tell them to Google.
But it helps.
Yeah.
It helps loosen the situation.
Exactly.
And then you tell them, hey, you know what? We are in this time and age where you have internet, where you have Google. Go type it in. You can do Google Earth.
Yeah.
You see live pictures and you see that they are not lions and tigers and whatever crossing the street on a daily basis.
And here on this channel, we try to educate people though, because a lot of people is just ignorant. They actually, for example, think that Africa is a country. But Africa is actually a continent, and sometimes I tell them like it's 3 times as big as Europe, and some people meet you like, do you speak Afrikaans? Because
it is
stereotype.
Like
some people just think we have one language.
For example, something that I learned not too long ago is like, you look at the world map and you see Russia is super big and Africa not as big.
Yeah.
And I had to learn myself it's not that long ago that I learned Africa is actually by the massive size. It is
way bigger
than Russia. Google it for yourself.
It's not just Africa alone, it's
but that's
Asia,
just that's one thing that I just
and
learned.
all of that. Because I remember recently a friend being spoken to about they just think that Asia is Asia. But the way the Chinese behave is totally different from those Indonesians
and they all belong to Asia.
And they all belong to Asia, so there are differences. Such stereotypes, it is your duty to actually teach people, reframe your thinking. Very, very important, because there are things you think you know, but you actually don't know them until you get to research and ask your partner and communicate to your partner. You may never know how much of a thing you do not understand. So reframe your thinking. Don't think you know it all. It's not even enough to just watch a documentary on TV. It's part of it, but it is not enough.
But it's just one-sided also.
Exactly.
Because the documentary only shows you what they want you to see.
And part of reframing is actually you teaching yourself or telling yourself like, no, there's more to this person, rather than molding them in a particular form.
We are all individuals. We are not one race. We are individuals. We have part of our race, of our culture in us, but we are not all the same.
We're not all the same.
Another way to deal with stereotype is to celebrate your partner's diversity.
Each other's diversity.
Or each other's diversity.
Exactly, because we are different.
We are.
Exactly.
And that's why we choose our partner or love our partner.
Exactly. Because there are differences that makes us unique.
Oh, very.
Yeah, and the more we learn to celebrate each other's diversity, the better we are. Because we have differences in culture, differences in food, differences in the way we even think or approach situations. So we have to look into it and understand where that person is coming from, and that way you will get to appreciate each other better.
Mind you, it's not always easy, but it's worth it.
Yeah. So let's talk about microaggressions. So microaggressions can be defined as those subtle or unintentional stuff that people say that tend to demean one person or a particular race. I give you an example.
Yes,
every African man tends to live like a king in his house, where his wife does not have a say. I've heard that before. He's like, oh, the wife doesn't have any rights. The man is the head of his home, yes, but then the woman is seen as an object. That is not true.
That is not true.
Or a very common one you see sometimes is all Asian people eat dogs, for example. Such things are stuff that you say. You don't intend them to, you say it unintentional, but they can be very, very hurtful.
Or you say like everyone that comes from a southern country is lazy.
Yeah, for example. So those are microaggressions that actually needs to be dealt with. Okay. It's a form of stereotype, but we just have to point those things out. They are subtle, but those things can actually be demeaning to a certain race or persons.
And because they're so subtle, and because sometimes the person who maybe uses them doesn't even know, I have a feeling
the extent, exactly,
or the accent where it goes to, you can hurt someone very much with that. Like it is like a needle that
pierces.
Because it doesn't happen just once; it happens probably a few times. And then that really hurts.
Yeah. Or a very common one, maybe we will do another video detailing some of these things, like subtle racism or subtle, because sometimes people get to objectify African men. I hear that all the time, and sometimes it pisses me off, and I'm just like, no, I am more than this, like where a man is described based on his the gift, his genitals. I don't know how else to put it, like
private part.
Like every African man is endowed with I don't want to say what YouTube will censor, but you get what I mean. But sadly, that is what it is.
Yes.
So those things can actually be demeaning and hurtful. So you should learn not to just put people into stereotypes or in a box, like the Germans will say it.
Surround yourself with family, friends, Yeah, with people that have like-minded, that are like-minded. Yes.
Like-minded,
that
exactly.
are like-minded.
That understand what you're going through.
Yes.
Yeah, let's put it that way.
Or that can help you if you have a question, if you don't understand a situation. Maybe they have gone through that situation before, and they can give you an advice on how to deal with it.
Yeah. What you find mostly is that when someone has gone through a thing, they are able to help uplift you.
Yes.
Yeah, by sharing their experiences or tell you how they were able to navigate situations that was thrown out them by other people that don't seem to understand their type of relationship. Because sometimes some things happen that it's only when you are together with a foreigner or involved with a foreigner, that's when you understand what they go through. Because there are some things, some laws or situation that foreigners face in this country that the Germans do not get to experience it firsthand.
No.
They don't know about it. It is only when they are into interracial relationship with somebody that is not from their race that they get to understand some of these things. Germany is a country filled with bureaucracy. That means you have to go to offices and deal with a lot of issues.
Yes.
And if you're not involved with somebody from a different race or background, you will never get to understand the point they are coming from.
No, you won't. You have,
Exactly.
you have your regular bureaucracy, what is already enough. But
You
don't know what foreigners actually go through.
No.
Until you are stepping into that field.
So last but not the least is communication.
Always.
So communication helps to open up a safe haven, so to speak, to enable people communicate whatever they are going through. So when you speak to people, they get to know that you are of like mind, and that way it helps them open up more, and then barriers as pertaining to stereotypes are being broken and can easily be dealt with. Because until you know what somebody is going through, you don't even know how to come in. So communication is very, very important, and that is the last point we want to put up there today. We hope this video will give you a few tips as to how to navigate stereotypes or to how to deal with stereotypes in interracial relationships. If you have learned one or two things, please go ahead, like this video,
subscribe to our channel,
comment, hit on the notification bell, and don't forget to share. Okay? Don't forget to share.
Don't forget, if you have any stereotypes you want to talk about,
your experiences,
just comment. We would love to read
hear
about
from
it.
you.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Until we come your way again. Bye bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.